Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I want to start a new series today, and this series is going to be understanding marriage. This is a channel that really focuses on divorce and helping Christian women experience freedom through divorce. But one of the things that people just kind of don't understand is God's plan for marriage to begin with, and that is usually what gets us in trouble to where we then need to get a divorce, is that we don't understand what marriage was originally designed to be. And so usually when you are researching information on marriage and how the Bible's view of marriage, everybody says go back to the original situation with Adam and Eve. It was between a man and a woman, and that kind of thing, but no one really understands the meat of what happened there. So the number one thing to discover with that scripture, in the beginning when God had Adam and Eve, and he created Eve, number one, he created the person that was the perfect fit for Adam. Okay. And so this is important because it is a mirror of how God intended marriage to be, where he chooses who is the perfect person for you. And so I have seen so many people teach that you can just choose whoever you feel like, as long as they're a Christian, it's fine. That is not biblical, okay? God did not create 20 women and say, Adam, choose one, okay? He didn't create 20 men and say, Eve, choose one. He created Adam and Eve, and there was no other choice. It was, you two are meant for each other, okay? And so that is the number one reason why people end up getting divorced, is that they don't understand that if God didn't bring you two together, then you're going to have to try to keep this marriage together by yourself. And you don't have that kind of power. So the number one thing to understand about marriage is that it's an institute that God created and that he made the rules concerning, okay? So if we as Christians are going to look at scripture and say, okay, we need to be submissive wives, our husbands need to be head of the household, and we're going to go through all of the rules that scripture has concerning marriage, we have to apply those rules to a marriage that God has put together. And so what happens is, when you are in a Christian woman and you're in a marriage and you want God to, fix the problems in your marriage, you want him to, deal with all the issues that you have and the toxicity, the abuse, and all the things you're having to go through, you're praying and praying and praying that God will fix those things. But you have to understand, is this a marriage that he put together? Because if it is, he is obligated to keep it together and to fix the issues that are in it and to just be God as it pertains to your marriage. But if it's one that you put together and he had nothing to do with it, you can't expect to try to live by his rules for something that he didn't create. Do you understand? So it's very important that we understand that, God is not just that he, is a control freak or anything like that. He's not, but he loves us and he knows the end from the beginning. So he knows the plan and purpose that he put in you. He knows the plan and purpose that he put in that person, your spouse. He knows the children that he wants you to have and what their plan and purpose is going to be. He knows the gifts and talents that he's put in you and how they would complement their gifts and talents. He knows the things that he's put in you to help you be a wonderful mom to the specific children that he has for you, and how they'll be a great father to them. He takes all those things into consideration. He takes the things that are going to happen to you, the places that you're going to live, the other people that are going to be a part of your lives. He takes all of that into consideration when he makes the decision to say, this person needs to marry this person. So when we decide, okay, we're just going to do our own thing, we're just going to marry who we want to marry, and then we're going to ask God to bless it, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay? For some people, it's just a timing issue where they may have got the right person, but they just got the wrong timing. For some people, it's you got the wrong person altogether. So that's really, what we have to understand. One of the things we have to understand about marriage and about marriage as the way that God sees it is that it's his institute. It's his institution. So he makes the rules. So he chooses the two people that should be together. He's very deliberate. If you look at Jesus and the lineage that he had, it was very specific. It was very deliberate. It was prophesied, years and years and years ahead of time that he's going to come from this lineage. He's going to come from this line. He's going to come from this tribe, right? And so if he's that deliberate about Jesus, okay, we are also his children. He's that deliberate about us. So he knows exactly who you're supposed to marry before you're even conceived. Okay, more or less before you decide to date anybody or marry anybody or anything like that. That's why he has the rules that he has about no fornication and things like that, because he doesn't even want you getting involved in situations that are going to lead you down to marriages that he hasn't approved, because he knows that the end result is going to be divorce. So understanding what God had in mind when he created the institution of marriage really helps you to understand whether or not divorce is something that you need to consider. And so that's what this series is going to be about. It's going to be about really digging into those things about marriage that are not taught, because there are so many things out there that aren't taught. The things that are taught on marriage are very, very, very superficial. And so what happens is that people end up in superficial marriages. They either end up in marriages that God hasn't put together, or they end up in marriage that God put together, but they're so superficial. There's no depth to them. And so they're not able to hold on when, life hits and life happens. So you end up with marriages that are so fragile, and so really understanding what God had in mind when he, created the institution of marriage, it really helps you understand if you're in a toxic marriage, if it's one that's worth fighting for, or if you're in a toxic marriage, if it's one that, this was never God's plan for me to begin with, I need to get out. So this is the beginning of, the episode 1 of this series. So I would encourage you to like and share and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode. Hi, my name is Amanda Nicole, and I'm a Christian life coach and divorce survivor. I'm passionate about seeing Christian women discover and participate in their God-given destiny. Many of us have had our destiny derailed by an ungodly marriage, which has left us broken and hurting. We stay in verbally, physically, and emotionally abusive marriages for fear that God will be mad at us, or that will ruin our kids' lives if we get a divorce. Most times, these fears are based in unbiblical scare tactics. I'm dedicated to shedding light on these lies and helping you experience freedom through divorce. My online school explores the truth about marriage, divorce, and the Bible, and I offer one-on-one life coaching for those who are seeking godly counsel unique to their specific situation. To learn more, subscribe to my channel, enroll in my authorized divorce online course, and/or visit my website and book a 1-hour coaching session with me. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Please consider leaving a comment, sharing, and liking this video. Also, this channel content is made possible by generous subscriber donations. To donate, use the link in the description.